Hello, welcome to MTG Pro Tutor. I am Sean Penrod, your host, and today we will open this Cons of Tarkir booster pack and evaluate the cards inside. Let's dive right in and see what we get. Remember, it is important to stay open for as long as possible. That is hard to do in a 3-color set, but essential if you want success. So we take out the marketing card, take out our land, nice plains, and then I always look at the rare. Master of Pearls. Okay, so I actually used this card in a recent draft, and it is pretty useful. So it's a monocolored card, which is nice. Being white and morph, it fits in a lot of different decks. It can go in Jeskai, it can go in Mardu, it can go in Abzan. It's very versatile. Okay, I would not splash for this. So if you are Sultai or Teamer, you're definitely not going to go out of your way for Master of Pearls. But if you are any of those other three, this is great to have. At worst case scenario, it's a 2/2 for 2. 2/2 for 2. So that's a bear right there. Very useful and limited. That's cheaper than your morph. Morphs are 2/2 for 3. Okay. However, you can play it for 3 mana and as a face down morph. And then for 5, you can turn it face up. And remember, 5 is the magic number. 5 is going to make it do something cool. And here's what it does. When it's turned face up, creatures you control get +2/+2 until end of turn, including itself. So when you turn it face up, it turns into a 4/4, and then other creatures get +2/+2. This is crazy. I had this in an Abzan deck, and those creatures, had First Strike and Lifelink, and being able to flip Master of Pearls up just made those made me gain more life, maybe kill things that they weren't expecting me to kill. So it's really relevant. I like Master of Pearls. So far, this will be my first pick because it is monocolored and it has a very neat ability, very versatile. You can play on turn 2, you can play on turn 3, you can flip it up in combat for a large effect. So I like Master of Pearls a lot. Valley Dasher. Here's another 2/2 for 2. It has haste, and it attacks each turn if able. So you just throw it down on turn 2, swing for 2, and then just keep on going every turn. But there are a lot of cheap creatures with high toughness that kind of blink this guy. Disowned Ancestor and Archer's Parapet come to mind. Those are cheap and they have big toughness. Erase. It's alright to probably have one in your sideboard. You don't want one in your main deck taking up space. Taigon Scheming is a pretty good delve enabler because you get anywhere from 1 to 6 cards in your graveyard, and you can definitely play Taigon Scheming, delve a bunch of cards, and then play an expensive delve card on the same turn. It is a sorcery, so keep that in mind. It does take up a card in your deck, so keep that in mind. But it does fill a purpose. So if if that's the route you're going, then it might fit your needs. But I have not drafted an efficient Sultai deck yet, so we'll see. Trumpet Blast. Attacking creatures get +2/+0. That is pretty annoying. However, it does not give them toughness. So while my opponent did play this against me one time, they still lost quite a few of their creatures because their creatures' toughness was not increased at all. They just were able to kill a few more of mine than I was expecting, but their creatures still left the battlefield. Speaking of cheap blockers, Disowned Ancestor comes down turn 1 and totally puts a crimp in Valley Dasher's style. And then what I did, I played a Disowned Ancestor, I did Outlast, and then Outlast again, and he was a 2/6. The Valley Dasher came in swinging, and I gobbled him up. So I do like Disowned Ancestor a lot, also because he combos well with the Kinfolk, which is a black-green sorcery that puts a creature with equal power and toughness to the greatest toughness of creatures you control. So you can play Disowned Ancestor turn 1, and then the Kinfolk, or whatever it's called, it's a sorcery, on turn 2, and you could get a 4/4 on turn 2. So that I did have that combo in my pre-release deck, but I was never able to actually play it, just because I never had them both in my opening hand. Woolly Loxodon. I like this card also. He was in my pre-release deck. He's a morph, so you can play him down face down for 3 mana, and then for 6 you can turn him up, and he's a whopping 6/7. So very useful. I wouldn't take him highly, but if you are in green, you are going to be happy to have him around. Throttle is excellent. Instant speed, 5 mana, -4/-4, which is basically removal. It's cheaper than the rights, the 6 mana one that gives you a Serpent. You know, it's 1 mana cheaper. It's a single black instead of a double black, so it definitely fills the removal spot in a black deck. Scout the borders. Not too impressed with. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a creature or land card from among them into your hand and put the rest into your graveyard. So you're not going to blank on this. I mean, with 5 cards, you're almost guaranteed to hit a creature or a land. If you don't, then there's something wrong with your deck. You have way too many non-creatures, non-lands. So Scout the Borders is a great way to fill your yard, because Scout the Borders will go into the graveyard as well as the creatures or lands that you don't pick, and so this is definitely a delve enabler. That said, though, it does cost 3 mana. It is a sorcery, and it takes a full turn to do, pretty much. Lens of Clarity. You may look at the top card of your library and at face down creatures you don't control. Not worth a card. Sorry. Information is important, but I don't think it's so important that you need to spend a card doing it. Shambling Attendants, not that impressed as far as delve creatures go. It's a 3/5, which is nice and beefy, with Death Touch, which is also nice, but 8 mana, even with delve. If you're not in Sultai, I don't think you want this, because if you're not Sultai, it's okay to have 1 or 2 delve spells in your deck, and this is not one of those top-end delve cards that I would put in my deck. Treasure Cruise is, for example. If I am Sultai, then sure, this is if I am Sultai, then this is great, because if you are Sultai, the more delve cards you have, the better, because if you're going to be milling yourself, you want to be able to use all those cards in your graveyard. So it does no good if you delve away all your delve cards. So you want as many delve cards as you can, so that you can take advantage of your self milling. Here's our first uncommon: is Mardu Blazebringer. It's a 4/4 for 3. Yes, please. When Mardu Blazebringer attacks or blocks, sacrifice it at end of combat. Oh, well, that is interesting. So you get a 4/4 on turn 3, and then you can either block once or attack once. That's it. So, or it can just sit there and look threatening. So that's really, really interesting. All right, Sunsteeped Citadel is the Abzan Triland. So again, with these Trilands, these should definitely go pick 3 or 4. If you are in 2 of these colors, you should definitely take it, because it's the same as having a dual land, only it gives you just that much more versatility. So, and Witness of the Ages is a colorless morph card, so I mean it can go in any deck. You can play it face down on turn 3. You can flip it up on turn 5. No matter what colors you have, you can play it. You can hardcast it for 6, and anybody can do it. So it's kind of neat. They just they give a kind of a nice big creature that anybody can use. So not bad. I don't think I pick it highly, but still not a bad choice. So after seeing all this, I definitely am going to take our rare Master of Pearls. This is definitely the card in this pack to take. He can really do some work. So thank you so much for watching. What did you think of the cards in this pack? You saw them. Tell me what you think. I'm Sean Penrod, and we'll see you in the next pack.